Hey y'all, so I just wanted to pop on here real quick and talk about something I haven't really talked about related to. Oh, hi Lola. Related to the fertility process. Um, yeah, so it's been like 9.5 months since I've had testosterone in my body, and every once in a while I just like hit this point where I like look at myself. Like the other time it happened was a couple weeks ago. I was letting the dogs out to pee, and I caught a glimpse of myself in the reflection of the slider door, right? And all I could just see was like the curviness of me. Like I can just feel, like I've said this before in other videos, I can feel in my thighs like where there's more fat than there used to be. And like I've said, I'm the same weight that I was at the beginning of the year. I've been around like 215, 220 since like last year. And I can feel the difference in my legs. So it's not that I'm gaining weight and it's going there. It's like the fat is going elsewhere. And like I've talked about how hard that is for me before. I can just feel it. I can just feel it in my legs. And I caught a glimpse of myself, my curvy figure, and I was just like, that just like feels so not right to me. It doesn't feel like it's my body anymore. Like the way that I looked before, I was okay with. And to make the comparison, like I have a picture of me from October of last year where I'm the same weight, and like you can just tell the difference. Like I'm not carrying that weight in my legs as much. And it's just been hard to like go through some of the changes. Obviously it's worth it in the end. Like the end goal is still worth it to me, but I just like have had through what was I saying? I've just had a couple of these different moments where I just like feel like, how long can I do this for? Like what is my threshold? And I haven't really actually like thought too deeply about that. Like how long will I try and fail for before I just say it's not going to happen for me and I get back on testosterone? I haven't really determined for my own self like what my threshold is. Like I don't really know what it is. Like what is my threshold? Like, do I try for a year and then stop? Do I do some further interventions? Like, I don't really know what I want. What I want is to not be off testosterone for a really long time. Like, it's been hard for me to see myself changing, and I don't know if I'm just like crazy, but I feel like my beard is thinning out a little bit, and so it's just been like a lot on my mind, and I have to really like stop and think to myself, like, what is my maximum point? Like, what is the point in which I say this isn't going to happen? And I have to decide that. Obviously it's a little bit different now because I am with Tori, and we're going to get married, and she wants to carry again one day too. So it's not that I'll never have a child, never have a baby. So if it doesn't happen in my body, it will happen in our family again. It's obviously something that I really want to experience. Like, I'd like to have a biological child. I'd like to go through a pregnancy and birth. Like, that's all very much what I want to do. But I also know that there are ways in which that we could still expand our family if it's not working for me. So yeah, I just have to kind of think about what my threshold is for that. I just have had a couple of moments recently, and I'm talking like sobbing in Tori's arms in bed moments where I'm like, how much longer can I do this? Like, how much longer can I watch my body change back in a way? It's not ever going to go fully back, but there are certain things that I feel are going backwards that I'm like, I want to get back on testosterone, and I want my weight to distribute out of my legs, and all these things. So when I started this process at the beginning of the year, I didn't know how quickly my period would come back. I didn't know anything. I didn't know how it was going to go at all. I guess I also kind of had this assumption that like all you gotta do is time it perfectly and it works out. And it's obviously a lot more complex than that. So I guess I thought it would be quicker. I don't know why I thought it was gonna be like one and done, but I was like, maybe it'll just take like one or two. But I think we're on to number 5 now this coming month. I'm honestly losing track. I think it is gonna be the 5th one though. The 4th one that's actually accurate. The first try we ever did in June was too early. I was basing that off of a 28-day cycle because I hadn't like fully tracked my cycles out at that point, and I just figured let me go with the average. When it turns out I do have a longer cycle, so I think this will be the 4th try, which is obviously like well within normal range, all the things. So yeah. My plan for this cycle is to just track my LH until I get the peak. 100% know I've gotten the peak, then I'll text him and say, let's do it tomorrow. So we're not going to try and do anything beforehand, I don't think. Maybe do, like, it depends on when I see the peak. If I get the peak, like, in the morning, I can say, let's do it tonight, and, like, the next day, or the day after, So we're going to mess around with doing it after the ovulation happens instead of before and see if that changes anything. So anyway, hope you guys are having a good week, and I will keep you posted.